Hello, and thanks for tuning in. Oh, just going to adjust the camera slightly. There we go, it's a bit wonky. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Russell, and this is for Chits and Giggles. Today, I'm going to be attempting to play through the solo mode for the game Find Sand. It's a good start. Find Sand by Friedemann Friese. Now, 2 years ago was when I bought this. When I bought this game at Essen, Spiel in Essen, and I remember kind of buying it immediately because it's a Fable game. I'm going to get into what Fable game is at the moment, just opening up my dashboard so I can check on chat and stuff. So this is a game that I bought when I was in Essen 2 years ago, I believe. I want to say that, and immediately bought it because it's a Fable game. A Fable game, for those who don't know. Hello, Steph. Thanks for tuning in. You're like such a gem. Thank you for always tuning in. So this is a Fable game, and a Fable game is like a legacy game, in that the gameplay evolves as you play it, and usually plays over multiple games that sort of run after one another. And this is a non-permanent sort of version of a legacy game. So you do make changes in here, but the changes can always be reset to how the game is at the beginning. Hello, Tom, by the way. It's funny you say that, Steph, because this is a game I actually want to sell, because I've also agreed that it's not necessarily a game that I was immediately won over after I purchased it. Now, that's not to say that it's not an enjoyable game. There are certain aspects of the game that are fun. It's just a game that didn't really click, and I think based on my experience with Fabled Fruit, which is a very fun game, I did not have the same enjoyment. But here's me giving it another go. So if you're watching this, clearly you're interested in the game. I'm not going to let my previous sort of underwhelming feelings towards the game put me off from giving it another go and trying to enjoy it as much as possible. But there's a difference this time, because I am playing the solo mode. One of those games that has a solo mode, which is always nice to find out, especially if it's a game you didn't buy for the solo mode, and then you're like, oh yeah, it comes with the solo mode. So it's been quite nice to find a lot of those games in my collection since the pandemic. So I'm going to explain how the game works first of all. So I'm going to teach you, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how the solo version of the game works. So this is a deck deconstruction game. Which is funny because the game is all about constructing buildings, usually in the form of sandcastles. Each player has a deck, so it goes up to 4 players, and each player has a deck which has a sort of starting set of cards, which is 30 of them. There's also sort of like a symbol card, which we will use in the solo mode, but also just kind of like indicates which cards belong to which player, so you can kind of reset them back at the end. And then a special building card, which allows you to offload some of your deck cards to other players, which is part of the gameplay, and you usually place this to your left, so it's kind of like you and your neighbor's card. Then 30 basic cards, which all consist of different... so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the other view so you can actually see it a bit better, because that's better, isn't it? Okay, so let me just pop that. There we go. So now you can see it a little bit better, what I'm talking about. So yes, basically each player starts with a basic deck of cards, a symbol card, and a special building card, which doesn't actually form part of your deck. And you'll know that because it doesn't have one of these symbols in the bottom right corner, so it sits on your left. Hello, Ben, by the way. Thank you so much for joining. So I'm just about to teach this game. So, as I was saying, basic deck of 30 cards. Each card has several aspects to it. First of all, it has a color, and the color is important because that kind of tells you what potential upgrade to the sort of deck building, deck deconstruction element is. So you've got 4 different kinds of colors. You've got green, red, blue, and purple, and these are the different kind of actions that you can do in the game. Then you've got some gray cards as well. These are sort of basic cards which let you they're like the equivalent of extra money in this game, and money is used to sort of build buildings. Speaking of that, the other kind of card, well, actually we'll get to that in a second, but the other kind of card you've got are Sandcastle cards. They don't have any benefit other than being fairly cheap to build, and you will have this. The purpose of this game, by the way, is to get rid of all of your cards, or as many cards as you can as possible. Ideally you have like none left, but that's very difficult to achieve. So the Sandcastles kind of give you an ability to sort of get a card out of your hand for cheap. And then the final kind of cards you've got are yellows, which are like special action cards. This one, for example, lets you discard a card and draw another one. So there's different coloured cards, and then you've got the sort of the two basic cards. You have the Sandcastle cards and then the coin cards. So the other aspect of the card is the number in the top left and top right. And if the card has a number in the top left and top right, it is a card that can be constructed. And when a card is constructed, it's placed above your sort of kind of player board here. So these are constructed buildings. Technically, actually, if it's a coloured card that matches one of these, it'll actually be constructed underneath the appropriately matching coloured slot. So you see a green one there. And the red one, go into red one, etc. The basic sandcastles, they will be constructed above, though. And the other aspect of it is the top middle section, and that's kind of like the extra bonus that it gives you. A lot of these extra bonuses will give you, will kind of match what color slot they're underneath, because you can see on your board these 4 different actions. Different colors represent different actions you do, as well as the order in which you do them. So you'll see here you have the drawing cards action, which is the green colored cards, and you'll see any extra green card that you build or you construct kind of increases the effectiveness of that action. So here we'd actually draw 3 cards instead of 2. The red cards represent building, constructing actions, construction actions. And so basically every time you choose to do the red action, this one allows you to build 1, but by adding to that slot, it allows you to build more than 1 card at the same time. The blue card is the same as the green card. It's just later on in the sort of like the phase of doing the actions. So you can always draw cards at the beginning of your turn, but you could then choose to do the blue action as well and draw extra cards. And as you might expect, the blue cards increase the amount of cards you draw when they've been constructed for that special action. And finally, the purple cards is the hand limit size. So this is kind of discarding down to your hand limit. And so if you add to the purple cards selection, this actually increases the amount of cards you can hold on to at the end of the round. Now, the other 2 aspects, which aren't that important, but the bottom left is a player symbol. So each player symbol, in fact, if anyone is watching right now and wants to choose one of these player symbols, we've got spades, bottle, bucket, and glove, and I will choose that. They have been shuffled, and I will shuffle this one before in case this one's chosen. Spade. Okay, so Ben votes for spade, but if anyone else votes for anything else, we'll just go with the one that has the most votes, and we'll just go for that one when it comes to playing with which deck we're going to play with. So yeah, that basically tells you which player set it belongs to. And this bottom right number, well, it's not always a number. It can also be sort of like a symbol here. But this one tells you whether it's part of like the basic set. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's much difference in these. I think these cards may have a special thing that you can't use them for this, but I'm not sure. For now, I don't think it matters too much. But yeah. So yeah, the numbers will also mean something because this is a Fable game, and as the game progresses, after you complete the first game, you'll actually randomly draw 3 cards, I think, from your hand or such, and then you'll got a matching player deck for each set that has the Fable cards. So you'll see there's numbers on the bottom right of these, and so every game you'll add the next 3 cards and they'll replace 3 of the cards from your basic deck. So you'll eventually unlock new cards as well as get rid of ones that you've already seen. So that's the way the Fable game works, and you play across 10 games, and you generally meant to sort of like either just play it as the game as it is and then stop and then carry on from the next time, or you can play through like several games and work to get the best score overall. Yes, so Steph says, actually, when you explain the rules, I still like it somehow, but it was more of a solo game and it did not have much variance. which is funny you say that because obviously you're about to play the solo version of the game. Just before, I'm just going to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. So yeah, there's actually another thing about this game that I haven't explained, which is how the actual turn works. So a turn works like this. You will... so I'm going to put that back there. On your turn, the beginning of the game, you draw 6 cards. Then, the way the turn works is you have 3 sort of steps. The first step is to draw cards. So you always draw cards at the beginning of your turn. And then the second step is either to build and construct cards from your hand by discarding other cards from your hand. So the cards are like the cost, the way that you pay for these buildings. Or you can just draw more cards. So you can either choose to build, which you slide this token over to the left, or you choose to draw more cards, in which case you slide this token over to the right. After you have done either of those actions, you ignore the other one, and then you go on to the final step, which is to discard down to your hand limit. This is why the numbers are on the top as so. Action 1, draw cards. Action 2 is either build or draw more cards, and action 3 is to discard down. This little symbol here, when you begin your turn, you will have your colored token onto your draw deck. There will be a draw deck on the left hand side here. And then when you take your turn, when you begin your turn, because in a multiplayer game you will all be taking your turn simultaneously, so you place your token in the middle of the table, and that indicates to the other players that you are currently taking your turn and you haven't finished yet. So you go on and you do all your steps, remembering to move this ring over to where you do, for the pure purpose of reminding yourself which of those actions you've taken, because it is possible, in the rules it even explicitly states that they had multiple experience where people often forgot and either did the 2 of them or you forgot to do something. So yeah, move the ring over and then do the final step. And then when you've finished taking your third action, which is discard down to your hand limit, then you place your token back on top of your draw deck to indicate to the other players that you are ready to move on to the next turn. And that only happens when everybody has done. So the game actually ends when a player is not able to draw from their draw deck because both of their draw deck and their discard pile is completely empty. And I think specifically, for the benefit of anybody who wants to actually play, it says you trigger the game end when you draw all of your remaining cards at the start of your turn and both draw stack and the discard pile are depleted. In this case, if you are able to draw more cards and there aren't enough, you will make up the difference by these sort of like these golden tokens here, which represent coins. And those can be used to pay for cards to be constructed. So let's just give an example. Let's say we've drawn 6 cards at the start of our turn and we decide we want to construct a card. Well, in this case, we could construct basically any of the 3 or 5 cards. The reason for that is because if I was to build this one, I would basically discard all of these other 5 cards and that would pay for the cost of that. I can make up any difference in these cards, these tokens. So for example, if I wanted to build the 7 card, I could get rid of these 5 plus get any 2 tokens that I have, and that would be the 7 cost, meaning I could then build that 7 card into that slot there. At the end of the game is usually when you'll get hold of those coins, and as you saw earlier on, there are some cards that count for multiple coins. So this one is actually worth 2 coins, and there is one of these in the deck which actually has 3 coins. So if you draw that and a high valued card, that's probably a good hand for you there. So that's the sort of basics of the multiplayer game. So if you do have any questions, you're not sure about how the game works, I think, by the way, again, just want to be super clear here, but at the end of the game, if you trigger it, the game ends after you all finish your turn. But if you trigger the game voluntarily during a round, so you draw more cards than you have, you still make up the difference in coins, and then everybody gets 1 extra turn. Now, in a solo game, which is what I'm playing today, there is a slight difference. Oh, sorry, before I explain that, there's one thing I forgot. So the offload card. This card allows you to, at any point during your turn, you can choose 1 card from your hand. So let's say I had, a hand of cards here. You can get rid of one of your cards in your hand by placing it I think it's face up onto this sort of pile here. And what this does is it lets you give that card to the player on your left. And it specifically says here, place one card of your choice from your hand face down onto your symbol card to give your neighbor this card. So that can happen at any point during your turn, and it's usually after you've drawn your starting cards and sort of before you end your turn. But the card is, yes, offloads. After checking your hand limit, take your wooden disc from the center of the table and place it on top of your draw stack. After everybody has taken their wooden discs from the center, together you check if you all received offloads. If there's at least one face down card, okay, so it's face down. So if there's at least one face down card on everybody's offload cards, then all the players must now draw that card. You take the topmost card from the right card, so the neighbor to your right, and then that card is now added to your draw pile, or it takes, again, this is a fiddly thing, and this is one thing in the rules. It specifically says that you will often forget or not want to do this during the turn, but it can be useful for reasons of getting rid of high valued cards in your hand that you don't think you can build. Because remember, the purpose of this game is to actually get rid of as many cards as you can. So giving a really costly one to your neighbor is actually a good tactic. It says about the offloads. Again, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. You take the topmost card from the right symbol and discard it face up on your discard pile. So it gets added to your discard pile. So now that I've explained everything for the main version of the game, the solo game differs slightly because what will happen is we're playing only one player. So we'll choose one of those decks, and it looks like we're going to choose spade because nobody said any of the other symbols. So there's still time to, if you want to, choose a different symbol, and I'll play with that deck. But let's go over the deck. So let's get rid of these for now. Spades for life. Okay, so it's looking like it might be spade. But let's explain the solo game. So solo game is different because it's all about trying to get points, and you're going to try and complete the campaign. So it's actually a campaign game. You'll play a maximum of 10 games, just like you would play through the whole campaign in a multiplayer game, and that's worth 10 games as well. But in this game, you're playing with a scoring system, and you use this scoring sheet, which is handily provided on the back of the booklet, but it also is available as a downloadable or PDF sheet on the Stronghold Games website, who is the publisher behind this game. So looking at it, it seems quite complicated, but I'll explain how it works. At the end of the game, at the end of a solo game, you are going to count the number of cards in your stack, which is your draw stack. So that's discarded cards as well. So you'll just put them together at the end of the game, and then you'll count those up and you'll put that number in the leftmost column. You'll also look at any offload cards. Now, offloads work different in a solo game because you will have an offload stack. So I'm going to use this one as well. So this will offload stack. This one is actually going to start with 13 of these coins on the card itself. So I'm going to do that now. So 13 coins on here. And at the end of the round, after you've checked for your discard limit, your hand limit, what you're going to do is you're going to remove one of these coins from this pile, okay? And then you put it into the center. At the end of the 13th round, you're going to remove the last coin from this card, okay? And if you still have another turn left, meaning you haven't got rid of all of your draw deck and discard pile, then the next turn, you're going to have to discard one of your cards onto that stack there, and that is mandatory. So you are going to kind of churn through cards if you take too long to complete the game. So that is what you do, is you check at the end of the game when you finished, and you're going to check the number of cards in the offload pile, and that will also be added to your score. So that's bad, because in this game you want the lowest score possible. So let's say that the first game I had 5 in my stack and 3 in the offload. So that would be a total of 8. So I put that total there in that column. Oh, you can't quite see it there. Sorry, I'll just move it a bit closer here. So yeah, you're going to add a number 8 in the top right there. Then you're going to come and look at this column. You're going to find that number in this card column, and you're going to basically cross off that number. Okay, so here you cross off 8, and that would actually give you 3 victory points. At the end of each round, you're going to look at this column, but there is a possibility that you will actually end up with the same number of total. In this case, let's say the second round also had 8. Instead of crossing off the 8, you actually cross off the number above it. And so what will happen is if you keep drawing quite high numbers in this game and you have to cross off a number above 20, because let's say that you had 21 or more total, or you'd crossed off a number but all of the numbers and above that are crossed off already, you'll actually end the campaign there, and that'll be your sort of like total. Now you won't win the campaign obviously, because the goal is to get to the end of the 10th game, but if you do complete all 10 games, what you'll do is you'll count up your score by adding up the numbers next to the crossed off numbers from 10 to 1. So you actually, a maximum score here, if you played the perfect game, would be 10 plus 9. I think that's 55 in total. So you get like 55 points maximum, and then you're trying to get high score. Now you may have also noticed, my brother loves games with scoring sheets like this. Now, I don't think many games come with scoring sheets like this, but it's quite an interesting development, something I didn't look at when I was playing the game originally, because this is only for the solo campaign. So this is quite interesting. We're going to see how it works. Now, you might notice there's something over here, okay? If at the end of the game, you have wooden coins in your presence, you actually get to cross off the coins on these chart here. If you cross off a whole row of coins, and there's 2 sort of rows in each line, you are actually allowed to use the number by crossing it off to manipulate the value on this total here. So let's say that your first game you crossed off an 8, and then the second game you had to cross off an 8 again, but you had one of these rows filled. You can actually use up that to turn it into a minus 1, meaning your total is actually 7 instead. So that's a way that you can manipulate it, and doing very well by getting loads of coins can help you in the game. So that hopefully has explained how it works. And so we're going to dig into the game. Now, I'm not sure how many of these games we'll get through, but I certainly think we can get through at least 2. So we'll see how we get on. As usual, if you have any questions about the game, and I haven't been clear enough about it, please ask me, whether it's in the chat or, after the game, whatever. I don't know how else I could do it really. But yeah, I'm happy to explain. And obviously when we get to the end of the first game, I'll show you a little bit more about how the kind of fable aspect works. Okay, well, thank you so much. That's very nice of you. Okay, so we've chosen Spade, obviously, because Ben is quite a big proponent of this. Oh, I should also mention, by the way, this is very exciting because I've not done this before, but I am now a brand ambassador for a company called Legendary Craft. Legendarycraft.ca is their website, and they are a game accessories manufacturer based in Canada, and they do handmade wooden accessories, including tables and various other bits, and I would recommend checking their website out. I'll probably put it in the link shortly, in the chat shortly. And as a result of them kind of believing in my ability to run streams, we're sort of like working together in a sort of kind of new style relationship, to me at least. And they're offering a discount of 5% to anybody that chooses to order through them by using a code word that you can only get from me, a code that they've given to me specifically, because they have other partnerships as well, and the code word is Giggles. So if you check out their website, legendarycraft.ca, and I am going to write it down in the chat here for you guys, but I hope I get the website right. I think it's legendarycraft.ca, and I'll put the code in as well, and then check it out. There's no obligation, obviously. I do recommend checking it out. I've spoken to the guy who runs it. He's a very nice guy, very passionate, and I think they do some nice work. So yeah, legendarycraft.ca, and the code word is Giggles, and that will give you 5% off of their products before shipping and tax, I believe. But yes, please, if you are considering getting a new accessory, check it out. So yeah, okay, that's me doing that. So there we go. Check that out if you can, and let me know if you have any feedback. I believe the person who runs it is in the chat, so maybe maybe if you want to ask any questions, they might answer. Okay, so we're going to start the game now. This has been shuffled. What happens now is I'm going to put that there just to indicate that this is my actually that can be my discard pile and my kind of offload bit there. So yeah, there we go. Let's put the 12 coins on here. 12 coins on here, and then we're ready. there's 13 coins, sorry. There's 13 coins on there. Okay, and then I draw 6 cards. Now, when we begin this game, because there's a chance of like having a bad draw, as they are in sort of any game with a sort of like deck building element, they will give you a mulligan. So if you don't like the cards that you begin with, I can get the opportunity to... it's Legend. Oh my gosh, sorry. Legendcraft. I knew I'd fuff it up. Okay, I'm going to put the website link again in. Sorry, guys. Legendcraft.ca. There we go. Sorry, I don't know why. I don't know why legendary is in my head, but yes, Legendcraft. Oh. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's crack on with the game. Let me just try and see if I can adjust the camera just slightly up a bit, so it's a bit more in the center there. Let me know how that is. I'd like to get some feedback, in case I don't want to make sure this stream looks as nice as possible. Okay, wonderful. So I'll put that box over there. All right, so we begin. So let's have a look at these cards. Well, a 10 is very high. Certainly don't build that. And these are all about drawing more cards, which isn't terrible. But I do want to start my engine building early. So I'm thinking actually it might be good to get a redraw at this point. And I think that in this case, I can just simply draw again. It says here, with the beginning of a game post thing, it says, I'll draw 6 cards. Thus, before the game begins, you can discard any number of the 6 starting cards, or even 0 or all 6. Yeah, so actually, looking at this, maybe let's keep this one, but let's get rid of all of the others. So I'm going to discard 5 cards there and draw 5 more, and just because I think that'll be better. 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see what we've got. Okay, it's already looking better. We've got some low value cards here. If there's any card that doesn't make sense, and there may be situations where this happens later on, I am happy to explain it. And I'm just going to start with that yellow one, because I just made an educated guess as to what exactly it means. But I think that one, it says, discard 1 card from your hand onto your discard pile to draw 1 card from your draw stack. Building this card costs 4 coins. Yeah. So there are 2 different cards which you can use during your turn once out of sequence. So if I like, I can be like, you know what, I don't like that card. I'm just going to use that. And then I think when you use them out of sequence, I don't know if you discard them. I imagine you do. I think I can just be like, okay, I'm just going to discard 1. So if there's any cards here that I don't like the look of, now would be a good time to do it. Now I think this one might be nice just because, I don't know actually. Maybe I will get rid of 1 card. Let's get rid of this 3 card. I'm going to use this. So I discard that and then draw another one. Okay, so my choices here is to build an engine building one. Ideally, would have liked something that increases my hand limit, or the beginning one, but make the best of a bad situation. Let's build this one just for fun. So I'm going to build this one. And it's going to cost me 2, and then let's keep this one, and then let's get rid of that one. So it's 2, 3. And well, these are practically the same, so that's 4. So that's basically paid for. So I do the construct action. See? So I've done the drawing. Oh no, I should have drawn 2 at the beginning of my turn, shouldn't I? So actually, I'm already messing it up. Well, it's fine. So we'll do this. Okay, so this is nice, actually. So I can actually build this one. Yes, so the beginning of the thing, I draw 2 cards. I'm going to build this one because I like to have an extra sort of like hand size. So let's get rid of 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. No, let's take that back, and I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep this one. So that's basically paid for. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those cards are discarded, and then I go on to the last action, which is keep hand limit 3. Well, I've already got 3 cards. So that's the end of the first turn. Now I remove one of these coins. And now I'll go back to the next turn. So we start back, we draw 2 cards. So I've got a cheap Sandcastle here, which is great, and another cheap, another sort of more expensive version of that. Now I don't think I'm going to be building more than 1 at the beginning because some of these cards, I won't have the right hand size for this. So if I like, at this point, I could just build something for cheap. And I think I will be doing that. So I'm going to build this one, cost me 1 card, build it up the top there. And see, the thing is, this is worth a coin, right? So if I don't discard it, if I don't build it, it's going to be worth a coin in my hand, which is something. But at the same time, you do want to get rid of cards. However, getting rid of this means I'm going to have to use the sort of engine building cards to actually pay for stuff. And so that's where it becomes a little bit tricky. And that's where the balance of the game is. When do you start dumping these cards? And when do you start building these cards? It's like a fine balance. Okay, so yes, let's go on. So I've built that. I need to pay for it with a card. Let's build a more expensive version of the same thing. So that's paid for. Go to the end. Well, I'm still within my hand limit, so then we get rid of another coin. So we start the next round. So we're back to normal. All right, so we draw 2 cards. I kind of want to improve the number of cards you draw at the beginning. At the moment, actually, I'm within my hand limit. I really think I should draw cards and then just try and keep one. I'm not sure. It's a bit crazy. How's the visuals, by the way? Does it look clear? I'm trying to be very wary of the fact that this camera is not the best quality and my lighting isn't great. It's actually a very miserable day today, so I just want to make sure that you can actually see. Okay, good. Thank you, Steph. Okay, so yeah, looking at these cards, my instinct is I really want to build this, but I obviously won't be able to. However, if I just draw cards, I'm actually going to burn off 2 of those cards at the end of the game, and I won't have achieved anything this turn, but it could at least, I don't know, maybe I should try and build something. I can't build anything here though. So actually I think what I'm going to do, isn't it, I believe it's like Canada Day today, so I want to say Happy Canada Day to you. If that's wrong, let me know, but I think it's Canada Day. That's what I'm assuming. So yes, it is. Good. I was right. Happy Canada Day to everyone watching. All right, so now I'm going to just draw the 2 cards because I can't build. I could build that cheap sandcastle. Maybe I will build it. It's best to try and build something, right? And in an early game, in the first game of the campaign, surely I've got plenty of options to get at least a score. So I think I will build it. Let's build that. So I'm going to build that for 2, and I'm going to get rid of these 2 cards. So those 2 cards are being used to pay for it. And then so I've done that. I've built it, and then draw back. I will discard down to my hand limit. I've only got 1 card, so it's actually fine. So then it goes back to there. This slots back, and then we get rid of a coin. So we're actually already down to. We're already on our 4th round. I wonder if there's a better way to just visually demonstrate how many turns we've got left. Yeah, so we've got 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah. So let's go on to the next round. So we'll follow our own rules. So we'll draw 2 cards. Okay, so this one is a card that's not quite come up yet, but this one allows me to do one of the buildings when I choose to do the second action here, but at a cost of 1 less. So if I wanted to build this, it would actually only cost me 7. So that's a really good card to get. However, I think that I need to get this because this one will allow me to build loads of stuff. I might draw. I know I've got some coin cards in here, and there is one that costs 3. So I think I'm going to do the drawing action this time. So instead of building, I'm going to draw 2 more cards and hope to get at least 1 extra coin card. Well, it didn't happen, but that's fine. I'll probably draw them at the beginning, or at least 1 at the beginning of the next turn. I also visited Canada last year and visited a lot of board game cafes. I also visited Canada the year before that as well. I did a bit more exploring when I was there because when I went, the first time I went to Toronto and Halifax, and then the last year I went to Vancouver as well as Halifax. And I checked out all the board game cafes I could, not going to lie, it's great. I know that you're not based in either of the cities as I mentioned, but it's such a lovely country that I definitely go back again. Okay, so yeah, looking at this, I think that I ought to keep, I only have to get rid of 1 to be fair. The one I'm less likely to build certainly is going to be this one. So let's get rid of that. And so that's the end of the round. I get rid of a coin and I put this back and I put this over here. So there we go, we're already on to the next round. So now let's see what we're going to happen. Hopefully drawing a coin card. Well, that's not a coin card. And that's not a coin card. Can I afford this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 1 card shy from being able to do that, very disappointingly. However, I can potentially build one of these other ones. I could build this one, which would be nicely in terms of letting me keep more cards. And I can afford it if I build it a 2. And then I get rid of this one, so that's 3. And then get rid of these 2 as well, so 4 and 5. I can now build this building here, which allows me to keep hold of more cards, which is nice. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, done. So I check my hand limit, I'm fine. Now at the end of the round, I'm going to do that and get rid of another coin and do that. So we've actually got 8 8 rounds left already. It's flying by. So let's go again. See what we got. I have a good feeling I'm going to draw a coin card this time. There we go. And that's actually really good, because now I can draw 2 cards here, and I'll definitely be able to build this next turn. So that's fantastic. So I'm going to draw 2 cards as my second action from here. There we go. And I think there's another coin card in there as well, maybe. So I draw that. I look at my hand limit, which is 5. I'm fine. So I end my turn. I put this back, and I take one of these coins off. Okay, so now we start the next round again. So it flies by, this game. So I draw 2 cards. Okay, oh, that's good. That's actually really nice. Look at that. So I really want to build this one, and I think I will. I want to keep this one, because look at that. That is very good. Just allows me to hold on to loads of cards. So yeah, I'm going to build as my action this turn. So I'm going to build this. I'm going to build this, and it's going to cost me 7. But as you can see, I've got 5 coins counted for right there. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of this one as well. So that's 7 coins or cards, coins, whatever, in total. And that's built. So I've done that action now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure, by the way, that card that's just been built does not activate straight away. So let's check. You can only use newly built purple or yellow cards in the same turn. Every other card is used from the second, from the next turn onwards. So I've built, meaning now everything I build, or at least the first thing I build every turn, if I choose this action, it's going to cost me 1 less. That's very good. Okay, so let's go on to the rest of it. I'm missing that one. Obviously, I get to keep these cards. So the end of the round happens. I'll put that back. I put this back on here, and I get rid of this card. So I'm already over halfway through before I have to start sort of throwing cards down. But as you can see now, I have an empty draw deck. The bookkeeping, to me at least, isn't that tricky. Like, it's generally just making sure. This is only so you remember what you did. I think in multiple players are playing, there is a tendency to check what the other players are doing, and I think that's totally fine. I don't mind that, but it does mean that it's more likely to lose track of what other players of what you have done in your own turn, especially if you do something, you don't finish your turn, then you check because maybe something looks suspicious to you, or maybe you just don't trust a friend enough, and then you come back and you're like, now what was I doing again? So it's nice to have this, but in terms of bookkeeping, I know there's games that are much, much worse. It's literally just checking that. And this is extra bookkeeping only for the solo game. The sort of equivalent thing you do in a multiplayer game is just have a look and see if everybody's got at least 1 card. Oops, I looked at that, so I'm going to have to shuffle a bit more. Very nice. I went to Quebec for the first time a few years ago. It was such a beautiful province. Is that where Montreal is? I feel like it is there. Maybe I'm wrong. I would love to go back to both the east and the west and the central. I like to explore more of it, to be honest. Okay, so the beginning of the round, just going to carry on if you don't mind. So we draw 2 cards. Okay, so that's nice, because, wait, now I can use this. Or can I use it? Oh, I've got to make sure now, because can you only use a card when it's built? So I just need to check. I think it doesn't say. There are 2 different cards which you can use once a turn during sequence. I don't know if you do build. It says building it. I reckon I have to build it before I use it. It doesn't make it clear, but I'm assuming I have to build that before I can use it, which is why you'd want to build it. So yeah, I'm going to not be able to use that. Now, I've got 3, 4, 5, so I could build this. I could build this right now. In fact, I mean, it seems a bit crazy that I'm just like building up this sort of engine here. I wanted to go to LA next month, but I don't think this will happen, obviously. I also really want to go to LA. You're obviously a lot closer to it than I am, but I've been there once a year for the last 3 years, and it's been great. I still secretly hope that things could change enough that I could go there, but the US is looking like a very like bad place to go in terms of not wanting to catch the coronavirus. So I don't think it's going to happen, and I will be sad about it, but I'm obviously going to protect my health the health of people I know, rather than like take a selfish trip to LA. So yeah, I also wanted to go to one of the big US conventions this year. I wasn't sure which one. I was going to plan it to try and coincide with the trip to LA. But you know what? There's always next year. And next year I can save up more, and hopefully meaning that I'll have a better time. And obviously next year when things are settled, hopefully, and it's more safe, I think there'll be a lot less anxiety and a lot more people will go, making the experience better. So we'll see. Yeah, next year's going to be good. I really hope. So yeah, I'm going to build, of course. So I've drawn the 2 cards. I'm going to build this one. Why not? It's cheap enough. So it cost me 4. So let's just get rid of that one and that one. I don't think I'm going to be building that one, especially after I use my my 3 coin card. But I am actually now on a hand limit of 6. So I actually will have 8 cards potentially at the beginning of a turn, which is very nice. So I've built. Oh, it cost me 1 less. I haven't even been using my ability. So that cost me 3. So I actually don't need to get rid of that. I just get rid of that because I'm using this. So that's awesome. Yes, thank you, Tom. Thank you for reminding me. I generally almost forgot that. So yes, it's because where I can see, you can't see it, but I'm looking at the cards like this, so it's covering the discount. So if I maybe hold my cards just a little bit closer and maybe put them here, I'll be more attentive to that. So yeah, I'll pay for that. That's built. Now I don't have to discard any cards because obviously I'm well up. I'm well underneath my limit. So the end of the thing happens, that goes back here, and I get rid of a coin. So let's begin the next round very simply. So I draw 2 cards. Let's see what we got. Well, we've got some coin cards again. That's nice. I could potentially build, either of these. That one would cost me 3. And that one's nice because I can cycle through cards more. Maybe that's good. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to build this. So I'm going to do this action again. I'm going to build that up there, and it's going to cost me 3. So I'm going to get rid of these 2 cards. So there we go. Done. Easy. And then that's the end of the round because I keep that. So that goes back there, that goes back there, and that goes back there. So there we go. So there we go. Begin the next round. Draw 2 cards. Okay. Well, I can only build this one at a cost of 1. And maybe because it is coming up to the end of the situation where I have to sort of like get those cards there, maybe I should start chinning Russ. Hi Daryl, by the way, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, We're Not Wizards, thank you so much for that. That's amazing. And thank you so much, a girl, a game, and a goal for the follow. That's very, very kind. I'm assuming you're board game fans. And that's, yeah, awesome. 8 bits, that's fantastic. Like, I'm still sort of new at this whole getting like bits, but yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll carry on with the game. If you have any questions, you want to know anything, just let me know. We're in the middle of a solo game of Fine Sand, designed by Friedemann Friese. Here's the box. It's a deck deconstruction game. So it's a little bit different than a deck builder, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. No matter how few bits, it's always exciting. I honestly, if you donated 1 bit, I would just be just as excited. So honestly, that's awesome. Oh my god, you donated more. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And in case you don't know, We're Not Wizards runs an amazing podcast. They had run an amazing podcast up until very recently when they decided they were taking a break to do other things, and actually very kindly got in touch and decided that they really wanted to support me on the stream. So honestly, thank you so much. I know you are choosing to host this channel, which is such an amazing honor. But if you haven't checked out We're Not Wizards, you absolutely must. They're probably one of the best podcasts around at the moment. So yeah, thank you again. And you have you might have no, you don't actually have it yet, but Ben's using the giggles emoji. So it's all about the giggles today. So now I've completely forgotten. Now I didn't build anything yet. I probably will build though, because I may as well do something. Although at this point I could draw more cards and potentially build something better like next turn. So I think I might do that. It's the closest I've got to a beach this year. That's an underrated and almost missed joke. That's good. Okay, so let's carry on. I'm going to draw more cards. I'm going to do this for the first time in this game, but I think it's a good point where we've got such a high hand limit, and that's actually very good because it means that I've got lots of cards that I can dispose, potentially even the ability to build this fantastic card next turn. So the end of the round has come Don't have to discard anything, so that goes back. Do I want to use this before I do that? Do I want to use this? Discard a card to gain a card. Maybe this one. I don't feel like I need it that much. Or maybe even this one. Yeah, I've got 2 of those, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to use that now. I'm going to discard and draw again. So it's exactly the same thing. So yeah, the moot point, but at least I cycled through the deck, made it more likely to draw coins next turn. So that's the end of the round. Now I put this back, now I put this back, and now I put this back. And this is getting very perilously close to me having to discard cards from my hand on there, which sucks, but I think we can do with it, especially with this. So the next round begins. Let's put that, draw 2 cards. Okay, so we're getting a lot of sandcastles this time. Now, it does mean I can build my much desired card over here, which is going to cost me a lot of money. But it's a high value card, and I think that's good. So yeah, I'm going to build this. So it's going to cost me 7 because of my discount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it basically cost me my entire hand. But it means like I can just churn out cards this time. So that goes there, and now I have a massive hand limit of 8, which is a bit crazy. But you know what? It is what it is. So I've built that. That's the end of that turn. Obviously, no hand limit to be aware of this time. So that goes there, and that goes there. Okay, so begin the next round, 2 cards. I'm very unlikely to be able to build anything from here, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yeah, can't build those, so I'm going to have to do this action, which is to draw 2 more cards. So there we go, draw 2 more cards. Now, do I want to discard anything? Maybe I should have done that before, but do I want to discard anything to draw another thing? Now, this is cheaper than that, so maybe just get rid of that and see what I get instead. So I'm using this ability, discard a card, draw a card, and instead we've got a cheaper version of that. So that's very nice. So yeah, that's the end of the turn. Don't have to worry about hand limits. That goes there, and we get rid of another coin. Okay, so next up, begin the next turn. The last turn where I won't have to discard a card forcefully, and we've got this. So we've got this, and that means we've got 6 cards in hand. Based on this, I can build up to a 5 this round. Which I do have one, but I have a cheaper one. So maybe building this. We could build 2 things actually, but it's just not been able to for the last couple of rounds, so that's fine. Do I want to build? Actually, I could build a 6 because I can build this. That might be nice. That could be nice. Is that better than that? Because that's a lot cheaper. I want to say I'm going to build this. So yeah, I'm going to build this. Now, the thing I've been neglecting is the fact that I can build twice, right? But so far it's not come up. Wait, before I do that, let's use this ability. Let's get rid of a card I know I'm not going to be able to build, which is... it's probably going to be the most expensive one of these. So I'm going to discard that and draw another card. Well, we've got some coins, so that's good. Now looking at this, can I build twice? I can build once at a discount of 1, so I could build this one for 2 cards, so I could build that for that. And I could build this as well, actually. But the thing is, I don't really want to build this. It's not gaining me any extra stuff. So do I hold on to this, given that I've got a large hand limit, to try and build a better card next round? I think holding on to lots of cards is probably good. So yeah, I'm just going to build this. In fact, what I will do is I will keep this coin card. No, I won't. I'll get rid of it. So yeah, I'm going to build this. So it's cost me 2 because of this. So I build that there, and I pay for it using that. Now, I'm going to ignore my other build action, and I'm going to go straight on to the end of the round. So that goes there, that goes here, and this goes here. Now, I'm going to reread the rules just to make sure I understand this new solo thing. Okay, so it says here... you will use the yellow action offload for your neighbor differently as in the normal game. As long as there are wooden discs on your symbol card, you ignore this action and do not place any cards from your hand on your symbol card. Instead, after checking your hand limit at the end of the turn, you remove one from the symbol card and place it back at the center of the table. At the start of the 14th turn, you have removed all wooden coins and the symbol card is empty. Now, during each turn, you must give one card from your hand and place it on your symbol card. You cannot refrain from this. So it doesn't say exactly when that happens. So I am going to assume it says during each turn you must. So I guess I get to choose when that is. So we're gonna carry on. We're gonna carry on so we can still draw the cards first. So we'll draw 2 of these, and now I must give a card to that thing over there and give myself a point. Okay, so let's get rid of really, well, probably this one. It's the most expensive card I have. Oops, that's a card trick I didn't know I could do. So that goes face down over there, and that's done. Now, I could have potentially drawing this first, but I think I want to build stuff. Looking at what I've got, maybe drawing more cards is nice. In fact, if I was to do this, now, I wouldn't get to use it, but it means that on my next turn, I could draw 4 cards, which is pretty good, I guess. I don't really know. Maybe that would be nice, but I can't build it, and I don't want to build that cheap thing there. So you know what? Let's build this. So this is going to be a build action. So it actually costs me 3 to build because of my discount. So I'm going to get rid of... I'm probably a bit ambitious here, but I think I'm going to build with these 3 cards and keep this one. I don't know why. Just drawing lots of cards seems quite nice. There we go. So that's discarded those 3 cards. That's built. I've checked my hand limit. Obviously, I'm fine. And I have given the card this turn. So that's all good. So this goes back here. This goes back here. And then there we go. So now begin the next turn and draw 2 cards. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so we've got all the green cards. Can't build any of them. So I'm going to unfortunately have to do the draw card action. Oh, technically not true. I could do this. I don't know if I did it last turn, but I'm going to do it this turn. So I'm going to discard. I'm going to discard this one because I think this one's not a bad one to give away. So I discard this, and now I draw one. But obviously I don't have a draw pile, so I'm just going to do this. And hopefully we'll get like a nice big coin card. I don't know. The worst thing I think would be having to discard a coin card, because those are very useful in this game. All right, so I don't know how many times you're supposed to shuffle to make sure you have a sufficiently shuffled deck, but I'm just going to do it not too long because I don't want you guys to get bored. So, so there we go. I draw the card. Oh, wrong part. This one goes over here, and I'll draw one. So let's see what we've got instead. Okay, so that's fine. I still can't build anything, so I'm going to do this. So I'm going to draw 4 cards and then have to discard one. But that's fine because I actually have a lot of cards here now. And I think the most obvious thing here to do is to get rid of this one. Now, if efficiently, this is actually 5 cards to draw 2, to 5 cards per 1 card, whereas this is 6 or 7 cards to draw 1 card. But it's very unlikely I'm going to have 10 cards to be able to draw that, even with the discount. So I am going to get rid of that. That's going there. It's going to add to my total at the end of the game. And my final action is to check my hand limit. Totally fine. So this goes here, and we begin the next round. Okay, so let's draw 2 more cards. Now, this is good because I can definitely build one of these. Now, hang on. If I got rid of the other card, would I have been able to build it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See? I wouldn't have been able to build it anyway, so I was right. Now, do I want ones that get me here, or do I want something that gets me here? Or do I want to build 2 cards? If I was to build this one, which is the cheapest one I have, that's going to cost me 5. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one I could build with the other 2. And that wouldn't be terrible, but I think that I want to get more of the high value cards out on the board and maybe keep some of these. So I'm thinking maybe I will build this one because, you know, having an extra draw at the beginning of the game does sound useful. And this is 1 cheaper. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, actually, 4. And I keep that one. Let's say 5. And then I do have to get rid of a card here as well. So I think, do I want to discard and draw maybe? I think I want to discard and draw. So I'm going to discard and draw this one because this is the least... Actually, I'm going to discard and draw this one. So I'm going to discard that one and draw this one, right? I haven't done that this turn already, have I? Okay. Oh, well, look at that. Now, the potential to build 2 cards in a turn is skyrocketed up because of this. So let's see what I got. 3, 4, 5... And then I've got 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 in total. That's because I haven't built that yet, haven't I? So that's 5. And then I could build something else. Or I can just hold on to it and hope that I can build 2 next round instead. Goodness me. Well, I have to get rid of something. So let's get rid of this one because I know I'm not going to build that. So that one goes there. And then I'm going to build this one as planned. So I am going to do the build action. So this one costs me 5. So let's just do that. Easy. And then the other card, if I want to, I could build for full price. And I could build this one. That's just going to cost me 2 cards, which I could do just by getting rid of these 2, I guess. So let's just do that. Let's build that. getting rid of cards at this point does seem like a good idea, and I don't want the game to run too long because I am constantly building up points over here. So that's the end of the turn. Yes, it's a very colourful game. The only thing I would say, though, the only negative thing in terms of the colour is look at the colour choice of pieces. It's like the most ugly colour selection ever, in my opinion. You've got green, brown, white, and orange. It's just a weird... I am going to reserve judgment too much because that might have been done for reasons of colour blindness, which I'm fully in support of. I think accessibility is very important, so it may be that. But the cards themselves make up for it because, yes, it's a very bright coloured, fun-looking game. So, yeah. Okay, so I believe I've built twice. So I've got to check my hand limit. Nothing. Here we go. And I've already sacrificed one of my cards, so I'm fine. And the good news is now from this point on, I can draw 3 cards at the beginning of the turn. So there we go. Let's draw 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's actually not bad in terms of the card draw, but I still don't think about building this. I'd rather build 2 in one go. So I am going to do this, which means drawing 4 more cards, and I'll still be under the hand limit. I am going to have to get rid of one, obviously. And I could also, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could also have to discard one. So let's discard the one that I'm least likely to build. That one seems much better now. Let's do, I think, let's just, I know, building these cheap cards is still very useful. So let's get rid of this one. I don't think I'm going to ever be at the point where I build 3 cards. So that one's going to go there. Or actually, let's do the discard and draw first. So I'm going to discard one of these cheap cards, discard it and draw another one. And it's exactly the same again. I think it's the contrast with the cards. Yeah, possibly actually. Although they do have green and green. So, I don't know. We'll see. Well, we won't see, but it's just, I accept that it's just a quirk of the game. I think actually I'm going to get rid of this one because, yeah, I said I don't think I'm going to be able to build more than twice in a round anyway. And so, did I draw? I drew. Yes, I did. That's why. This is proof that this is why the token is there, because I genuinely forgot that I'd drawn the cards already, even though it would have been obvious looking at the number of cards in my hand. But yes, I'm fine with this hand limit because I've got 7 and I've got 8 to hold on to, so that's fine. So that goes there, that goes there. I've donated the card, and so we carry on. Okay, so then the next round begins. I'm going to draw 3 cards, so I draw this, and I draw 2 more from here. And you can see probably already there's like 5 cards in this, 6 cards in this card pile. So how many cards did I draw just now? I'm pretty sure I just drew, well, I know I had 7 cards before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I only drew 1. So I get to draw 2 more cards from here. So I'm almost at the end of this game. And then you get to see how the Fable element works. So let's go draw this. So we're going to draw 2 more cards. Okay, not enough coin cards for my opinion, because I know that 2 of those 4 cards are coin cards, which is annoying, but it's fine. And then obviously I'm not going to draw more. I need to build. So let's build something that's more useful. Well, I can probably build the more expensive one actually. So let's try that. So it's going to cost me 6 because of the discount. So it's going to be 2, 4, 5, 6, and then I can build this one. Nah, I don't want to build that one. Let's just build one of these cheap ones. In fact, let's just build the 2 one. So that'll be a 2, and then I'll just get rid of these 2. Yeah, so that's what's going to cost me 2, 4, 5, 6 for the 7 card, and then 2 for the 2 card. So there we go. There we go. And now I'm going to draw. Well, check my hand limit. Oh, and I have to discard a card as well. Well, seeing as I've got quite a lot in here now, I'm going to get rid of this card, so that one's going to go there. I didn't discard and then draw, did I? I should have done that. I should have done that, but it's fine. I know I'm going to draw some coin cards next round, so that's fine. So I've done that. This goes back here, and we begin the next round. Okay, so I think what I'll do, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to clear that card of those cards, so it reminds me whether I've done it this turn. And if I know I've got a card there, I know I'll have done it this turn, just to make things easier for me. Okay, so I draw 3 cards, so hopefully these are all the coin cards. Nope, only one of them is, but that's fine actually, because I can discard and draw. In fact, let's do that right now. I could build that one. I could build that one, which is all right, I guess. Or I could build this one. I know I'm not going to use that one, so let's discard and draw that one. There we go. And now I have to choose whether I build. I could build this actually, and that's not bad. But building cheap ones at this point seems more useful. Let's just build that anyway. So it's going to cost me 6. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. And this, as you can see, does the discount build card also give an additional build as it doesn't have a +1? Oh my gosh. That's a good point. I hope I haven't played this wrong. But it does say +1. Gosh. I think you might be right there. I think I might have cheated. Okay, discount on building costs. For each action, build 1 card from your hand, pay 1 coin less. So actually, I've misinterpreted that rule. So very good point. Okay, so I know I've only built twice on a couple of occasions, but I did pay that extra coin there. So how about this? I know I've cheated, and I probably would have bought a different card otherwise. So let's just pretend that from now on I play by the actual rules, and whatever happened has just happened. That's fine, but this is why it's good to have viewers, because there's always a rule that you misinterpret, at least in my experience. So yeah, I'm going to play on as the rules state. So this one basically makes every build action cheaper. It doesn't count as an action itself. So from now on, I get 1 build action, but it'll always be cheaper. But if I was to build an extra build action, that second one would also be cheaper as well. But as it is, because I think it's very hard for me to go back and retroactively fix everything, I think I'm going to have to just play on as it was. So I've built... did I choose to build this just now or that? I just chose to build that. Maybe instead of doing that, I'll take that back, and instead of building that one, maybe I'll build that one, because then at least it's fairer. So that cost me the 3, and yeah, that's the only way I can see to make it better. But that's very well spotted. Okay, so that's the end of the round. I have to discard one of the cards. Well, I'm going to discard that one, so that goes in there. Check my hand limit, obviously I'm fine. This one goes back to here, and then this one goes back to here. So now I draw, and I think very close to the end of the game now. Only a couple of turns in it, potentially. But we'll see, okay, there we go, that's shuffled enough. So now we clear that, and now we'll reveal this and draw 1, 2, 3 cards. Okay, so we've got loads. Okay, well this is nice, because actually... I could build both of these for 1 card. So actually I could build both of these for that card. And that's legit this time. That's legit this time. So yeah, I'm going to build both of those. So that's a 3 and a 2. This is going to be a bit crowded up here, isn't it? And then, yeah, I'm going to have to discard this other card, actually. So maybe not. That's a bit annoying. But, yeah, unless I draw... Actually, I'll draw more... No, I've built, haven't I? I've built. So that's quite annoying, because actually I have to build, I have to discard this one, but that's fine, because I think the end of the turn is very close anyway. I did not like having to do that, by the way. I knew it was probably going to happen anyway. So this goes back here, and then this goes back here, and we've done that, so we clear that, and now we go back to the next round. So it's 3 cards. Probably not going to be able to build. Oh, I can actually. I can actually build something here. But you know what? I'm going to trigger the end of the game, because I think at this... No, actually... I do want to build. Building is still fine. I have to get rid of one of these cards. I could just build this and discard this one. So let's do that one. This sucks, but yeah. I'm the official tabletop cheat monitor, and oh my word, I'm glad I showed up today. Yes. This is terrible luck for me. A terrible luck indeed. Let's see if I can discard and draw using this, just to see if I can get rid of another... Okay, you know what? I'm not building. I'm drawing. I'm going to draw. I'm going to end the game if I do that. So actually, no, I'm going to build. I'm going to build this for this. And that's discarded. And then this one has to go there, annoyingly. So that goes there. And we clear this. And then we basically go on. Right, this is going to be one of these cards. So yeah, this is going to be a wild ride. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we draw that. We're drawing back up 3 to 2 3 cards. And yes, I can build this. In fact, I can build both of them. That's perfect. I'm going to build both of these cards. Do I have to discard? What if I don't have any to discard, though? That's what I'm confused about. Start now. Each turn, you must give 1 card from your hand. So I can't avoid doing that. But at least if I was to draw, this sucks. Well, I can only build one of these cards. So let's build that one for that. Discard that. And then that goes there. And then at the end of the turn, I'm going to draw more than it is. So I'm going to finish the turn. I have to give one of these cards away. Doesn't matter. I can't build the other one. So there we go. So this is the end of the game. Okay. So this is how you work out the points. Count up the total cards in the stack. Now, luckily, there's only one. That's not terrible. So the points, as we see, we're going to head to the woodshop for the day. Have a good stream, Russ. Yes, thank you so much, Ben, for tuning in. I'm going to remind everybody again later on about the lovely products that you create. So thank you again, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you on the next stream. Have a good day, and hopefully you create some beautiful masterpieces today. Okay, so 1 in the stack, and then offloads. I think it's probably like 7 or 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there's 10. That's not great. 10 in the offloads. So 10 here, and then in total, that's 11. Now, how many wooden coins? Would I have been able to draw stuff? I think I would have had a coin to spend because I would have drawn 3, and on my last turn I would have drawn this instead of taking my actual turn. So it would have been 2, 4, 5, 6, I believe. So that's actually a total of 7 coins. That's another thing to remember. So I actually have 7 coins filled in. I'm probably going to check this later on and find it's actually not correct. So my total is 11, meaning I have to cross this off. Now, if I want to get points, right, I need to get in here, and I've only got 10 games to do that. So I definitely feel like I'm going to use this -1 here, turning it 11 into a 10, and crossing that off, meaning I'm actually going to score a point for my campaign. So there we go. Perfect. Now, what happens next, you might be asking? Well, I'll tell you. What happens next is we'll do the legacy aspect of it, the fable aspect of it. So let's say you trigger the game end as usual when you draw all remaining cards and both piles are empty, and for each missing card you also take 1 coin from the wooden center of the table. Okay, count all your unbuilt cards, which we did, and we've done that, and there we go. At the end of the game, if you have any remaining wooden coins, strike 1 space off. There we go, we've done that. Okay, so from game to game, the fable stack. So let's get the fable stack out. So we're using the spade deck, which is this deck here, and it's put in order. So we'll just leave that there for now. Shuffle your stack of cards and reveal 6 cards with numbers in the bottom right. Now that's the difference between it. The cards with the warning symbol, they're there to tell you that you never get rid of those. You always need to keep those cards in your hand, and I'm pretty sure that's to stop the game from breaking. So we're going to take all of the cards that we played with, including all of these. I'm going to shuffle them up. I'm going to reveal 6 of them. I'm going to choose 3 of them. So I'm going to choose which 3 that I want to get rid of out of the game completely, never to be seen again, except when I want to use them again. Bit dramatic, but yeah, they're basically going to be like, what's the word that people use? Scrapped or trashed, or abolished, or removed from game. That's essentially what we're doing. So let's see, is that enough shuffling? Let's see. So let's reveal the 6 cards. We might have to draw more because there might be some with the symbol here. Yes, so those ones don't count. So we're going to keep those over there. I'm going to keep drawing until we've got 6 cards with a number in the bottom right. Okay, nope. And then this one. Okay, so these are the 6 cards that we can choose to get rid of. What, 3 of them. I like the idea of keeping sandcastles because they're not the best, but they at least are cheap to build. And as you can see, that did help us a little bit at the end of the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the 1 and the 2. I'm going to get rid of the 3. So I'll get rid of that out of the game. So it goes into the box. And then I'm going to choose 2 of the others. That one did sort of help, but I do like that one. So I think I'll get rid of this one and maybe get rid of one of these as well. Actually, the yellow's one of its kind. I kind of got a lot of those down, but that is a cheap one, I think. So I think I'm going to get, you know what, I'm going to get rid of another one of these sandcastles. So I'm going to get rid of these 2 as well. So those 3. And then what happens is we'll reveal the top 3 cards from the Fable deck. And these are now the new cards that we'll get to play with this turn. And as you can see, we've got some new iconography here. So let's just remove those. Those ones and those ones form my new deck. We'll shuffle those together. So let's have a look at these cards and make sure that we all know what they do. Okay, so the first card, this one's called Scaffold. This is a coin which does not count towards your hand limit. Okay, so this one you can keep in addition to any cards you have equal to your hand limit. So I could actually have this as my final hand in the game because this one doesn't count towards the 3. Brilliant. When you draw this card, you place it face up in front of you. until you decide to pay building costs with this coin. After paying the costs, discard it into your discard pile, and if you have this card at the game end, you count it as one of your unbuilt cards. So that's a little bit different. Okay, this one allows you to, well, I'll read it, why not? So it says, take one wooden coin from the center of the table. Wooden coins don't count towards your hand limit. You can have any number of them. You can use wooden coins to pay the building costs. Taking these wooden coins does not trigger the game end. So that one is like, instead of drawing cards, you draw a coin. And those are like money to build other cards, which is actually quite neat. I like that. So that's those cards built. So let's do the third and final card. This one's called the Build Additionally. Build one card in your hand with printed building costs, with the building cost of 3 coins at maximum. So it allows you to build anything up to a 3 for free, I guess. Oh no, that's not true. It says you do not get any discount on building costs from red cards and must pay the full building cost. So this is essentially draw and build. That's what that one is. So that's quite nice. So this one basically gives you an extra coin but does not count towards your hand. This one allows you to draw coins, sort of like collect stuff. So if built early enough, that's quite neat because it can accumulate quite a lot of coins, which can help you when you have not got a great hand size, but you still want to build something good. And this one allows you to do a build of a cheap building when you draw the cards here. So that's nice. I like that. So those are the 3 extra buildings that we're going to take for this, and they get shuffled in. So there you see I have the number 1 on the bottom right there, and that's because when you are sort of setting up your decks or resetting them, you just take those out, and those are the first cards you add in Fable. You'll see actually, if we just have a sneaky peek of the bottom of one of these other ones, you can see it's just got a 2 there. So that means the next card, you know. All right, wonderful. So let's do another game. We've got to try and improve on the last time. So it's exactly the same rules. We're going to start with 13 coins on here. And I really hope that we do better this time than we did last time. And I'm definitely open to some tips, advice, maybe things I did wrong. Maybe actually playing the rules as they were meant to be played this time instead of making up my own. 13 there, wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to do one little bit more of a shuffle, and then we're ready to go. If anyone has any questions, maybe just want to ask me something, by the way, feel free to drop a question in the chat. I'd be happy to answer them. I finally had myself a haircut because I live with a hairdresser, so that was quite useful. As you can see, it's actually made me look a lot less wild. What's the word? Savage. I think the actual French word for wild is sauvage. So I want to say I don't cheat is the tip. Thank you for that. And Steph says, lucky me, yes. I imagine a lot of people are looking a lot different now than they were at the beginning of the lockdown. However, good news is, I think as of today, or is it Saturday, hairdressers are actually open again. So only a couple of days to wait, and then you can try and brave it out there to get yourself a fancy new haircut. Don't know if that's advisable, but you can do that. Okay, we're ready to begin. All right, so let's begin with the first thing. I draw a hand of 6 cards, so this is just the start of the game. I would like to see one of these new cards, if my hand if possible, and I got one. That's nice. Well, I'm definitely keeping that one. I didn't get any other ones. Now, do I want to keep any of these in particular? I think keeping that one was quite nice. That allows me to like cycle through my cards, and definitely keeping that one. In terms, I really want the card that lets you draw coins. I think that's quite nice. Maybe get rid of this one because it doesn't really help me. I don't think I'll be building that one. I'm definitely keeping these 2, and I'm definitely gonna aim to build the coin card instead. So I'm just getting rid of all 4 of those. Those are discarded, and we'll draw 4 more to replace them. So let's see what we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, well that's better. So this one immediately sits in front of me, so I don't have to do anything with that. So what do we do? Draw 2 cards. Beginning of our first time, we draw 2 cards. Okay, so we've got these lot. Well, this one helped us out a lot last time, and we can keep these cards for when we get that coin card. That's what I want. So yeah, I'm going to build this. So let's build this as my first action is going to be 2A. I'm going to build that one. It costs me 4. And you know what? Let's just do all of these. All of those cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Easy first turn. So we'll keep these cards. This one just is separate. And then we do the hand limit, which is fine. This doesn't count. And then so we end the turn, put this here, and we remove 1 coin. There we go. All right, so the next turn begins. Very simple, very quick. Okay, so we'll draw 2 of these cards. Now, could build this one. But again, I want to keep... I've got 4 cards in my hand limit, so I should probably build something. In fact, I could build this for this. This for this, I think. I think that's not a bad idea. So let's do that. I'm going to choose my second action is to build. I'm going to build this one here for the cost of 1 card. Done. All right, there we go. The hand limit, fine. And, oh, actually, maybe instead of building it for that, no, you know what, I'm trying to build that coin card. So yeah, I think I'll keep that. Keep that for later. So that's the end of that round. This goes back, and 1 coin goes over there. All right, so we start the next one. We draw 2 cards. Okay, so we've got an extra hand limit or an extra build, and I do have to try and build something, or I risk wasting a turn. So what do I build? And this is going to cost me the actual cost this time. That one's tempting. I could build that all for right now, just because I don't know if that helped me last time. I didn't end up lots of times with having that, and that's quite expensive. Actually, what I'm going to do is maybe silly, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to build this card. So it cost me 5. I'm going to use this. You know what? I'm not going to build that. So I'm going to use all of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Built. Done. So I built as my action. So that resets. My hand limit's fine. This goes back here and this goes up here. All right, next turn begins. 2 cards. Let's see what we got. Okay, well, that's something. You know what? I might just do a straight draw cards this time because I actually do need to get some more cards, and I want to try and find that coin card. Well, that one's interesting because that one, if I build it, allows me to build both of those for cheaper, and that will actually help me this time. So we've drawn. We check the hand limit. We're fine because this one doesn't count. So this gets reset, and we get rid of another coin. See how quick the game goes? It actually goes quite quick. All right, so the next round begins. We're going to draw 2 cards. Again, please be good. Where's that card? And none of the coin cards are coming up. The thing is now I really ought to build, and I can't because, well, actually, no, that's not true. Because I have a discount. No, I don't have a discount yet. Okay, so I could, I could just build one of these. I think I'll have to because I don't want to miss out. And if I draw any more cards, I'm actually going to lose out. So I'm going to build. Once, I think. So I'm going to build that for 2. And I'm not going to use that one. I am going to... This, you know what's funny thing? This is good, right? Let's... Wait, before I do this... I haven't built that before. I don't want to mistake. But this is interesting because if I'm just sitting this in the whole time, it's not actually getting used. And it's just sitting there. So I think I ought to use this at some point, not hold on to it. I don't know if anyone else sees a different strategy there, but let me know if you do. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the cheap one here. So I'm gonna build. So it costs 2. I'm gonna build just with. I mean, I should keep one of these, right? Again, I'm not looking to use this or this. So maybe I'll just build with that and that. And yes, I am ignoring my own strategy. But yeah, I'm going to keep that. So that's what I'm going to do. So I keep those cards. That's built. And check that. Hand limit's fine. So this goes back, and this goes up there. All right, next turn. Draw 2 cards. Come on, you know what I want. Okay, so this is one of the new cards that we got. This one allows us to draw, build stuff as well as thing. Now, looking at the number of sandcastles, that one could be useful now because I would be able to still use it. Now, if I did built a lot of these sandcastles, it would have been less useful. And I think actually I'm probably not going to build that because it doesn't seem the best use for me. I probably good in some strategies. For example, if I'd chosen to keep more of these sandcastles, but I already got rid of. I think I got rid of 2 of them. So there's actually less now. So maybe not that one. So maybe I'll pay for. Maybe I'll just build. I'm going to build this one. So I'm going to build that, and I'm going to pay for it with one of these and one of these. There's 2 cards done. All right, wonderful. So then at the end of the round, no hand limit to worry about. So that goes back, and that goes up there. And look, we're already kind of breezing along here. So next round, 2 cards. Come on, you know the card I want to see. They're still not there. It's right at the bottom of the deck, damn it. This one, though, this one could be built. I do have enough here. I have these 3 cards and this one. Or I could just wimp out again and build this at a cost of 2. Again, I could draw over and discard, but I feel like that's wasting. I feel like you should be doing something every turn and not throwing cards down. So I think what I'm going to have to do is build this again. So I will build this, go in the build action, cost me 2. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this card. I didn't really want to. Actually, do I want to use that? I think I'm just going to get rid of these 2. Just going to get rid of these 2 cards. I'm still keeping that card. All right, so there we go. That's the end of the round. Done. No hand limit to worry about. This goes there, and this goes up here. Okay, so we're actually already down to over halfway through the coins. Which is amazing how quickly that goes. All right, so next round begins. We've got 2 cards. Now, you know I want to see. There's only like 4 cards left, so come on. All right, there it is. That's the card we want. Wish that had come up earlier on. That would have been brilliant, but it is what it is. Cost me 7. So if I was to draw that, it would cost me 7 money, and I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. I could draw 2 more cards at this point, especially because I can't build anything. In fact, I literally will do that. I will draw cards. So I think one of these is like a 2 coin, I think. Oh, it's a 3 coin. I was thinking that, but for some reason it didn't stick in my head. So now I have to discard down to one of these cards. There's probably an obvious choice. Well, I'm trying to build that, right? So getting rid of that one might be a nice idea, but I think I want to build that as well. I can't build it right now, but have I got enough to? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do. So I can definitely build that next round because I'll draw a card. So whatever one I discard, which will be this one. Wait, oh, I have this as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, fine. So let's get rid of that one. That one's the one I'm choosing to discard because of my hand limit, leaving me with these. So we've ended that round. This goes here. There's nothing there. And there we go. So now I need to shuffle my discard pile. Out of curiosity, how annoying is it, do you think, to have to like shuffle through your discard piles? Because you do want to do it well enough, but it does take a long time, I feel like, and it kind of drags a game, a lot of deck building games down. Maybe it's worth investing in one of those like card shuffling things, you know, like the ones where you just push the button and it goes like that. I don't know. I can riffle shuffle, but I generally don't like to do it with sort of newer games because I feel like it maybe, well, I don't really mind doing it, but I feel like I just generally don't because it makes the cards more flexible. And also, pet peeve of mine, such a pet peeve, is when people like, you see people holding cards with, like usually with like family members or people or young people or people who aren't necessarily like hugely into games, and you see people holding their cards and they're like bending them, and I always have to just really politely say something because it's like the worst thing. I'm a sleever because you can just mash them together and shuffle them well and pretty quickly, and I think that's a good idea, to be fair, but I can never really get my head around, like, there's so many sleeves. You know what the biggest reason I don't do it? Not because it takes a lot of time to do, and not because of the expense, but because of having leftover sleeves. I don't like having like a box full of leftover random sleeves. So just take an example. If a game like Dominion had like 175 cards, for example, but you can only buy packs of like 50 sleeves, and then you end up with like 25 left over, and it's like, right, now I have to then either hope there's a game that has that size cards with like 25 cards in it, or I'm going to have to buy more and hope that the remainder is left over, because we have one of those in work, and it's just super annoying. Just like a big box full of like random card sleeves, and then you have to like keep the size of them, and then it's like such a pain. I mean, it's obviously different in the board game cafe because there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of games there that you can use them on. But man, it's always such a pain. We're Not Wizard says, I get someone in every Tuesday to shuffle my deck. That's good if you're rich. It's good if you're rich to do that. So I drew the 2 cards there. You know what I'm gonna build. I'm gonna build this one. So this one's going here. 7 money, meaning I can just spend 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think I'm not going to build that one. So 7 cards, 7 money, whatever. So that one's been built now, which I've done there. I could build something else, but obviously I can't. So Steph says that he's not sleever either. And yeah, it's not a problem. I think I've always thought, like with my own games, I don't play them all enough to have to worry about it. The only game I'm tempted to buy card sleeves for is Gloomhaven, because I know that I'm going to use those cards a lot more, because there's less of them and you use them multiple times each game, and the game lasts for quite a long time. So there is a genuine chance that I will be buying sleeves for that. But other than that, like, I don't play my games enough to have to worry about that. There actually is one or two games in my collection where I look at the cards now and I'm like, they're getting to that point where they're a bit gross. But generally those games are quite cheap. One of them is Anomia, and that's like £13 to buy, maybe even a bit more. So it's not a super expensive game, and the fact you've played it enough anyway, I don't mind buying another copy. But I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's just how I feel. Okay, so I've built that. No card hand limit to worry about. Semi-co-op. Hi, Semi-co-op, by the way. You've sleeved the Gloomhaven mini cards as well. Yes. When you say mini cards, do you mean the item cards? Because they're like the really small ones. I'm assuming you've done that in addition to the main cards, but I would just the cards that you use for your actions. That's the one I'm thinking of. Maybe if I'm going to go in for a penny, I may as well go in for a pound to just leave all of the game's cards. We're Not Wizards says, and you sleeve and they don't fit back in the box. That is a big pet peeve as well. That's another reason not to sleeve. I reckon there's some merit in having like a debate on the sleeve versus not sleeve cards thing, because there are genuine advantages and disadvantages, so you've got to consider there's no like 100% right side. The damage to the modifier decks. Yes, I understand. Krimmy's Masters made a joke. The Wizard card game. Sorry, I thought you were saying something about Wizard's sleeve. I was like, that's a joke there. Tom says, I find the process of sleeving cards while watching something or listening to something weirdly therapeutic. Yes, that is another pro sleeving column, because at work, the board game cafe, there are times when we would literally just all gather together and just sleeve cards, and you can like chat while you're doing it, and it's quite nice, and you get into a rhythm of it. If like you're doing it a lot at once, that makes more sense because you get quicker at doing it. But the thing is, the board game cafe generally don't want to spend loads of money on sleeves because they're really expensive. You can actually pay as much money, if not more, than the game itself to sleeve a whole game, especially if the game is very card based. So that's another thing. And where else are we at? Like, yeah, you'd be so proud to do an English joke. Well, you almost did it. I took it that way anyway. Anyway, let's carry on with the game. So I've built that card, so that's great. Nothing to worry about the deck. So this goes here, and this goes up there. Okay, let's draw my 2 cards and my coin. Wonderful. So that's going to pay for itself. Okay, so looking at the cards here, I could build this one, but do I really want to build an extra thing? I'm not sure. I should really look at this now. I really do want to do that. I can't do it because I haven't got enough stuff. So it's just a case of whether I draw more cards to try and get something better, maybe draw on a coin card, or do I just build this one I don't want to build? I'm going to draw more cards. Why not? Hopefully I get a coin card out of it. Nope, absolutely not, but that's fine. I can now pick and choose which ones I want to get rid of. Definitely getting rid of this one because this is a more expensive version of that one. I'm definitely getting rid of that one because it's a more expensive version of that one. So those 2 are going, and that's the end of the turn. And I don't like to do a turn like that, but it's fine. All right, so this goes back, and we get rid of another coin. Let's go on again. So we draw 2, and look at this, another coin, meaning now I have like literally 7 money to spend, which is great because look, this card over here, that seems to be the best card, right? I can build twice, but I think I'll just build once and build this because it makes everything cheaper. So there we go. By the way, Semi-co-op, I just wanted to say in person that I didn't catch the whole of your stream because I had other things I needed to do, mainly get dinner. But from what I watched, it was a really good show, really fun. I like the wheel thing. I need to know how to do that. Like, I might just do a wheel thing at random on my show because that just seems like a fun idea. The quality was awesome. And if you're not following Semi-co-op, by the way, you absolutely should, because I think they're going to be quite big streamers. That's just my personal indication. I think they're going to go on to be massive. And I want to be one of the first fans of their streaming. Obviously, I'm a fan of their comics and stuff. They do lovely comics, by the way. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to build this. So this goes here. And as we've established, thank you. That's good to know. I want to know how that wheel thing works. yeah, so anyway, as we've established, this discounts each other actual build action that I have by 1 coin, not itself a cheap building action. So now I can build twice for cheaper, but I still need to pay for this. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. So I put those coins back, but it has allowed us to build a very good card. So there we go. I mean, thinking about it, should I have built that instead? Maybe I should have built that instead, but no, I think that's fine. I think we'll be fine. Okay, so there we go. That's been built. Sorry, keep forgetting to do that. So for everything I build from now on, you just did 1 stream. No, I think it was great. I think the quality is really nice. I have a DSLR camera, but it's really unreliable. Like, it just turns itself off. Like when you do the video mode, which is obviously what you need to do for doing like videos, it just goes like, sorry, there's been an error. And apparently it's a very known error, but it's like, I can't kind of troubleshoot the problem down to its actual source, so I just end up having to like pray that it works, and I just can't rely on doing a stream like that. So it's fine. I'm doing like the webcams right now. I seem to be doing fine. All right, so that's the end of that round. No thingy limits. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and we're done. All right, let's draw 2 cards and a coin. I don't think I'm going to be able to build something this turn. Nope, absolutely not. So let's do the next best thing and draw 2 more cards. Let's see what we've got. Ooh, well, that's good. That means I can build something very nice. Those 2 cards right there. And I've got my little coin to boost me up. So that's done. Hand limit is achieved. So this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And I'm still not looking very good at all in terms of like getting the loads of points, because I need to be building and building and building. I'm just not getting that right now. But anyway, it's fine. We'll carry on. So we're going to draw 2 cards and this coin. Boy, do I wish that coin card had come up earlier on. So here's what we got. Right, what's the best thing to do here? Do I want to draw more cards at the beginning of my turn, or do I want to start maybe like getting to build some cheap things? As we already established, that one earlier on did not really look like it was going to be super helpful, but because it wasn't going to be super helpful because I don't have many cheap cards left. A lot of them have been built already, and I got rid of some earlier on. So yeah, I'm not sure that's the best option. So that's going to be a spending card. Of these, do I want to build something? This one's probably the best because it gets me more cards. Let's do that. So I'm going to build that one. It costs me 6 because of the discount. You would say draw more. Yes, this one. You meant this one. Yes, we're on the same page, Tom. Thank you. Good to know that I'm not alone in my thoughts on that. Okay, so I've decided to build that one. So it cost me 6 money. It's probably best to keep the cards rather than the coins, I'd say. But yeah, because I unless the cards are useless. In fact, I will pay for it with this, and I will pay for it with this as well, because at least I can build potentially that next turn. So I build that, or hear me out. I think I should also build this as well, because I can build twice for cheap. So it cost me so it cost me 7, 9 minus 2, so 7 in total. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think let's do that. I think I've learned my lesson a little bit. I think building lots is the way forward. That's the way that you don't put loads of cards down on there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to build both of them for 7, so get rid of all my cards. But you know what? At least I'm getting more progress. And we've got a nice healthy draw thing going on over here. So I did that action. This goes back, and this goes up here. And as you can see now, we're at that point where we're going to have to start sort of sacrificing cards over here, which sucks, but it's fine. So this is what we do now. We draw 3 cards and we get a coin, which is good. So let's see what we're working with here. All right, well, drawing more cards at this moment seems like not a bad idea. Did I go through I did 3 coin. I've got at least 1 more 2 coin in there. So if I was to draw, at least I'd set myself up better for the next round. And I think that's probably what I want to do. That one's not bad to build, but I don't think I want to build right now, because if I want to build, I want to try and build twice. I certainly can't do it that time. So I'm going to draw more cards. I'm just going to draw these 2 cards, one of which, no, apparently not. Why is that? Did I forget something? Shouldn't there be more than I thought there was 3 2 coin cards. I've miscounted, haven't I? Yes, I did. I'm an idiot. I didn't see that. Like a silly idiot. I didn't count. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Which of these cards am I absolutely not going to build? Well, I have to get rid of a card now, don't I? Let's be honest. I'm not building that one, am I? It's too expensive. So I'm going to put that one face down in there. That one is going there. And yeah, that's it. At least I get to keep all the cards in my hand. I don't have to discard any. So there we go. So this goes back here, and then this goes back here. There's no draw card. So now I have to shuffle. All right. So how is anyone finding the game? Is it sounding like something you might want to try? I hope so. I mean, the games I pick aren't always games that I'm like 100% enthused about. They're games actually out of my limited collection that actually do play with one player, so that's part of the reason. But it's always the same. Yeah, the game doesn't seem to have. I think literally the biggest draw for this game is the legacy. I keep saying legacy. It's a Fable game. The Fable aspect. The Fable aspect is the thing that I'm like, okay, so at least at the end of the game, there's something new to discover, which makes me immediately want to play the next game. And I'd say that I'm not finished with this game yet. I'm going to hold out like judgment properly until the very end of this game, which are probably going to be the last game of the stream. But I will reveal the new cards though, so you can kind of at least get to see what else could be coming up. But yeah, I think the biggest draw is the Fable element, and I think that I'd say that with a lot of the Fable games, getting new stuff is always exciting, and I think it's a very good innovation in the board gaming industry. How do you feel about that? I feel pretty good. Anyway, we're going to clear this because that's how we're going to do this. We're gonna make sure that I discard a card each round. Okay, so drawing 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, obviously didn't shuffle them or cheat because I would have got. It's so little Fable, just one. No, it's 3 new cards. There's 3 new cards at the end of each round. This was one of them. And the one with the building and thingy is another one, and the one that's like 1 free coin, that's 3. So it's 3, but I still think that's enough. I like the Fable aspect. I may be alone in that. Now, I didn't draw my coin, did I? No, I didn't. Whew, almost forgot that. Okay, so now I have the ability to bump up. I think this one or this one is the one I'm going to build. I think this one or this one. Can I build that one? So it's 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that one is the one that's most appealing to me because it gives me more cards, but actually maybe drawing loads at the beginning is probably better. I think maybe that one. Now, I love Legacy and I like Fable, but in this case, it just did not give me enough. And I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I think that's the same. I mean, I'm planning to get rid of this game. I'm selling it. But I wanted to give it another go and see if the solo mode is any good. My City. So I might be getting hold of My City. We shall see. But I really want to play it. But I think that's the kind of game that I could get my partner and my housemates into because it's very light, very quick, and the gameplay is really easy to understand. Draw a shape. Everyone puts that shape on their city. Done. And just avoid stuff. So that one is kind of I am really interested in. Especially Reiner Knizia is a designer that I really admire. Even if I don't like a lot of his games, they tend to be quite like mechanical. Like I find a lot of his games quite mechanical, and I don't get the same fun out of his games that I get from other games. That generally, even with themes, I generally feel like I'm playing like a mechanical game. Does that make sense? Am I the only one that feels that way? But I do still really like the idea of My City, even if it is what I'd say a mechanical game. It's the Fable legacy aspect of it. See, that's it. He's a mathematician. Yes, like me, I am technically a mathematician. That's what I studied at university, but God knows if I want to do maths again in my life. Anyway, I need to just figure out what I'm going to do here. Can I build twice? I definitely want to build, so I'm going to do this, but can I build twice? Drawing more is good. So let's see what happens. If I build that, it costs me 5, so I could do that, and then I could build that for 2, or I could build that for 3. That one's probably better. Or maybe extra draw card there. I don't know. No, I'm going to build this one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build this. This one costs me 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this one's going to cost me 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. There we go. Done. So there we go. Oh, I haven't given a card away, so I can't build both of those. Damn it. Wait, there was something else I could build, though. I could have built that one instead and discarded one of these cards. In that case, let's discard that. Let's discard that, and let's build the 3 building instead. 8 something, right? So I still get to do exactly the same, almost exactly the same turn, but I just forgot to discard the card. Oops. So then I've built, and so I've got no hands to worry about. I do have hands. No cards to worry about, and there we go. So that ends that ends that, and that clears there. All right, we go again. So I get to draw 4 cards now. It's actually pretty good because I'm at my hand limit. So, ooh, look at this. So I could build this, actually, but do I want to? That's the question. Do I want to draw, though? Oh, and a coin. Forgot about that. Almost forgot about that. You know what? I'm going to do this, so I remind myself of it. Actually, I'm going to do that. Look at that. Is that better? Is that better? I think that's probably better to read, isn't it? Because it makes it really clear then. And that's probably a little bit neater on the stream as well. Okay, so I've got 5 coins and a card at my disposal, so I could build this. I really probably ought to build something this turn, but I have to get rid of a card as well, which sucks. Do I want to get rid of a card? I don't want to get rid of my coin card. Maybe I'll draw and then discard one of those. That's probably the best idea. Okay, well, this is quite an easy decision, I think, because I don't think I'm ever going to actually use that, because, again, I don't have enough cards to utilize that. So I'm going to discard that, and then I have to discard one of these. Well, let's discard this one. So that one's discarded, yes, because I'm down to my hand limit. And there we go back to the beginning. All right, wonderful, and that's cleared. All right, let's do it again. Draw 4 cards, and I should be able to build something great this turn. Okay, so look at this. Look at this. Can you see them? Yeah, you can see them all. Actually, I'm realizing I'm a little bit off center here. I hope that's fine. There's a lot of like messiness going on in this game. I've realized. So let me try and see if I can make this any clearer. Is that all right? I feel like that's fine, right? You'll let me know if it's a problem with the stream. Don't forget the coin. Yes, I almost forgot the coin. Oh man. Okay, yeah, I've got to remember that. I can build a lot this turn. I've got, like, look at it. I've got all the coins and I've got 2. So I've actually got 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Meaning I can build up to 13 this turn. I could build an 8 and a 5. Well, I could actually even build even more. I actually have, well, I'm definitely going to build. Let's choose which card I'm going to get rid of. Obviously going to get rid of that one because it's it's an expensive version of that one. So that one's going to go there. And then I'm going to build twice. Let's build let's build these maybe. Or these 2. 13. Let's build these 2. So first up is this one. I'm going to try and do this. It doesn't make a difference because I'm going to forget to take the coin at the beginning of the next round anyway. But that's going to cost me 6. So let's just do those. Yeah, that's 6 there. And then this one, well, actually 3, 4, 5, 6. I could actually build this one. What do you think? Shall I build to draw more cards, or shall I go down the kind of strategy I've been going down here? It's probably less useful at this point, but it means I don't have to discard as many things. So maybe this one. I don't know. Maybe I think 2 more cards cost 7. It was an 8 cost card you just built. Yes, you're right. Because yes, that's right. You are right. Oh, I'm glad I've got somebody watching. So I actually can only build this one, unfortunately. Damn. Yes. That's why you put it on the bottom there. Yes. Well remembered. Or I could just not draw that one. You know what? I'm fine with building that one because 3, 4. Yeah. I think I'm just going to discard those 2 for that one. Yeah. Oh my God. There's so much to keep track of in this game. All right. I'm going to keep the coin though. All right. So that's the end of the round. So this goes back here. This goes back here. This clears. And I'm going to draw. Tom, you're going to appreciate this, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And the coin. 2. So I need to draw 3 more cards. All right, there we go. 3 more cards, and I already have the coin. There we go. I knew. It's just, it's about establishing a routine. How many cards have I got over here, by the way? I've got 4. I think I'm doing all right this turn. I think I'm doing better. I think I am doing better. I think I've definitely been utilizing the building a lot more. I feel like I've only really had to discard cards and not use them very little, and there's not many cards left in this deck. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm doing better this turn. The cards, you start off with 30 cards in your deck, by the way. So the fact is I've already got 18 cards either there or built. I can actually count the ones I've built. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. All right. Hate it when that happens. I have to keep shuffling so I don't cheat. It's fine. Again, if you have any questions for me, please ask them. By the way, if anyone isn't following me on Twitch, please consider doing it. It's free. It's free if you're watching this right now. You can create an account for free, and it's easy enough. It's a little button in the top corner where it says follow after you exit full screen, I think. And yeah, I do board game stuff. I do chats with people. Okay, so I'm drawing 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3, and I already got the coin, so that's good. Okay, so let's see what I've got. Oh, well, there we go. About time this one came up again. This is a free coin, so it doesn't count towards my hand limit. No, I have to get rid of a card. Do I want to draw a card? I think it might not be a bad idea to draw a card and just get rid of one. I don't think that it's going to help me to build anything right now. So I think that I am going to draw more cards. And I have to get rid of one anyway, so it's not terrible. So let's draw 2 more. I'm only going to have to get rid of 1. And that's nice because look, all of those money coins over there. And which of these do I think I'm not going to be able to build? I think this one. I don't think I'm going to be building 3 times in a turn with the current situation. So I think this is the one to get rid of. I'll keep the rest. And I think I can probably build those 2 next turn. Let's do that. I'd rather build this than that because it's not really helping me much right now, but I'm definitely going to want to build that. So Lego. Dinner time. Thanks, Russ. Have a lovely evening and the rest of the game. Thank you so much for stopping by, both of you. Always a pleasure. And yeah, hopefully see you on the next stream. Hopefully be watching some of your streams in the future. But yes, if you want to tell people you're doing a chat with somebody, I think it's with Bez, coming up with Bez. Is that right? In which case, Emma, so nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Oh my God, it's so rare to get Emma. Emma's a busy lady, but she is, she's what do I want to say about Emma? She's lovely. She runs a Pointless Parrot podcast, which you must check out if you can. And she's just gotten into streaming. She did a very good stream the other day on Portal, and she basically managed to get every single person you know who uses Twitch and in the famous person on Twitter onto her stream, which is just completely unsurprising, I should say. Is he? Yeah. So yeah, please follow Emma. She's just started streaming, and she's pretty bloody good at it. So definitely worth following. So I'm going to put that there. And I've just drawn this turn, so I don't have to do anything else this turn. That's staying there because it doesn't count towards my hand limit. And then we do this. So there we go. And this goes back there. Right. Back on to the other one. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be my last turn, actually. I think, actually, this is going to be my last turn. So I'm going to draw all of these cards. And maybe I should have built that building card because I can't do anything else this turn. As I've got all of these cards here. I might be able to, actually, because I will draw. Let me just check. Sorry, this is a bit of admin stuff. So the game end when you draw all your remaining cards at the start of your turn and both the draw stack and discard pile are depleted. That's me. So this is the last turn. So if I thought about it, maybe I wouldn't have done this. And I did forget my coin. Did I forget my coin? Okay. Wait, so we had a lot of chat. Emma, oh, shush. No, I won't shush. I won't shush. You're good at it. I've been listening to her podcast chat with Elaine earlier today. Well, that's lovely, Tom. Yes, she is very good. And I like the different way that she does each of her interviews. I happen to be very fortunate because I was Emma's first ever podcast guest, if you don't count the one where she's just on her own, episode 0. So I'm very honoured by that. You're dropping the magical stuff in someone else's stream. Yes, and I'm blessed. Okay, so let's build. Let's do what we can. I'm not going to be able to build loads, but I'm still going to have a horrible score, but it won't be the worst, hopefully. And maybe if I just get loads of coins. Okay, so yeah. Oh, I'm going to have to build. That's a shame. I didn't think about this through, but having that, lots of those, means you're more likely to run out of cards and end the game earlier. They got so much more serious since then. Oops. Yeah, but it's called evolving. It's called evolving. Right, let's build the 2 most expensive cards. Not that they do any much, but that cost me 7. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this one, let's build this one, 7 as well. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, 6 it costs me. So that's that. And then, yeah. Yeah, that sucks because I think actually that's the end of my turn. And I've scored horribly as a result. So anyway, that's the end of my turn. So what happens now is I count up my unbuilt buildings, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm doing even worse. And then count up the buildings here. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And anybody's probably watching saying, I didn't discard a card in there. It doesn't matter. It would have been the same points. But it does actually matter when it comes to writing down the stack numbers. So I think I only had 5. So I'll add 1 to the stack there. So 6 in the stack. And then 8 in here. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so it was 8 and 6. Okay, so 8 and 6. So the total there is 14. I had 3 coins left, so I'll top those up. But at this point, I'm not going to score very well, so I'm not going to lose any points there. So my final score for that second one was a horrible 14. But I have unlocked a -1 to use in a future round, so we shall see. Now, before we go, and before we end the stream, I am going to reveal the next 3 cards. So I'm going to basically set up, because I might do this again. So what we'll do now is I'll take all of the cards from my... Actually, before I do that, I know that some people who use Instagram and Twitter will appreciate this, but I am going to... I'm going to take a little picture for Instagram, so let's do that. Take a little picture there. I'm actually going to take one with the camera in as well, so let's do that. Okay, wonderful. So there we go. Oh, now I can't see chat. Wonderful. So there we go. Now I will reveal the next card. So I'm going to take all of these. They all go back into my deck. And we shuffle them around, and we're going to draw 6 of them. But I'm going to do the choosing afterwards. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to reveal the next 3 and explain what they do. Okay, so we'll draw the next 3 from the top here. So this one, well, that sucks. That automatically looks a bit bad. It's a 0 coin card. So this one is called the Pit. This card is only annoying. You cannot pay building costs with it or can build it. Get rid of it fast by offloading it to your neighbor. Well, that's not going to work in a normal game, but we can still use it as a free kind of offload card for there. So that's something. Next up we have the essentials from the discard pile. Draw 1 card of your choice from the discard pile. If the discard pile is depleted, you draw the topmost card from your draw stack. Are both depleted? Well, then take 1 wooden coin from the center of the table. Cool, that's pretty cool. And then finally, that's not the one. Finally, we've got this card here, which is a draw and discard. First, draw 2 cards. Then, discard one of these 2 cards onto your discard pile and take the other card into your hand. So that's quite nice, because it basically kind of lets you kind of manipulate your deck a little bit. So, yeah, the new cards, Steph said the new cards do not wow them. That's why I thought it was only 1 card. This one does not obviously seem very exciting, but this one, yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying. I think that it looks like the first 2 rounds, by the way, and I think this is the furthest I got in the game, because every time I'd play it with new people. And so, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Sorry, so you can see me a bit better. So yeah, the thing is with this game, a lot of the game cards, there has been, Stephen Wanacore is retiring. Is that true? Or is that a joke? I can never tell with you. I need you to clarify. I mean, he is not that old though. I don't think he's retiring. That 8 green seems objectively worse than the draw 2 card you start with. Yes. I mean, if I had actually drawn that and that one, yeah, that would definitely not be very good. I can't see why that would be better than just drawing 2 cards. Yeah, I mean, I've got that other card right there. Actually, you could argue that it is actually better because look, it's cheaper. That's it. That's the same as this card, but you get more choice about which card you keep. So I guess you could argue that it is... oh, it's true. True. Why is he retiring? Does he give a reason why? Like, I'm curious. I never heard that. That's quite big news, I guess. Would I lie? I don't know, but you're quite funny, as we chatted about earlier on. So it could have been a joke that I just didn't get. That's generally legitimate. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's those are the new cards. There are more cards. In fact, I could have showed you more on here, but I think I'll leave that. I don't want to ruin the surprise. But I haven't seen any of the cards from the new ones, but it does look like there's more stuff. So I'm gonna hold off from kind of giving my ultimate decision on this game until I've played a little bit more, and I may well come back to this game. I'm kind of getting through a lot of the games that I already own in terms of solo, so I might have to start going back through games that I have already done. One more thing I wanted to kind of show off while I've got you all here, because I'm very excited about this, is I don't know if anyone is following Minerva Games, but I got a parcel from them. At least I think I did get a parcel from them today. Yes, I did. I looked at the box. I wasn't 100% sure, but look what I got. I got the Swatch, the game designed by Scott James, known as Minerva Games on Thingy. And this is a sample copy. So this is very exciting because I have played this before. I actually played it at Aircon. I don't know if any of you were at Aircon, but I was. And wow, look. So this is pretty cool. Look, you can't really see it properly there, but this is nice quality stuff. This is only obviously a sample copy. This won't be like, I don't think this is final production. Maybe it is. It looks pretty good though. And so I'll be doing like a playthrough of this as soon as I can. It's about coloring and creating a sample. It's basically about collecting resources, which are basically colors, and turning them into actual color cards. You need to like collect the right cubes and convert them, etc. And there's a nice little worker placement sort of action turn order kind of thing that's happening. So I will try and play through that game on the stream sometime, but I will need to play it with somebody else. So you got it as well. That's fantastic. So yeah, this is I just got a little notification earlier on, and it's saying, you've got a parcel. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Swatch. So that arrived. So yeah, I will be playing through that at some point in the future on one of these streams. But again, I'll have to convince somebody else to play it with me. Who knows? Maybe when things start opening up, I can invite someone around and we'll go through it and teach you how to play and show you the game, how it works, etc. So on that basis, that is the end of my stream. Thank you so much. Oh, look, just about 2 hours. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've really enjoyed. If you haven't followed already, please do. Thank you for everyone, by the way, who donated and followed today. That's been awesome. Bye, Emma, and thank you, Steph, again. Thank you. We're Not Wizards. I want to say, I'm calling you We're Not Wizards because I'm terrible at remembering names, but I feel like it might be like Rob or something. Please tell me your name because I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, literally, thank you so much, everybody. If you have any questions, you obviously tweet me. I'm pretty active on Twitter lately. And yeah, until the next time, we'll see you then, and have a good evening, day, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you very much, and goodbye.